Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining this morning. Afternoon for those of you that are in the East Coast. We're going to wait just a moment to see if anyone else is going to join us, and we'll get started. Okay, well, we are going to go ahead and get started this morning. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we can all get through this with the Easter hangover we probably have from yesterday. I know I'm in a little bit of a food coma. So thanks for jumping on with us today. And you guys, today the topic is Inventory Management 101. So hopefully we're going to go over all of the different sections that we want to talk about inventory, and we'll review those items in just a moment. Okay, so as always, just a little bit of housekeeping to get started. So the duration of the webinar is 30 to 40 minutes. This might be a little bit of a longer one, you guys, because again, we are covering inventory and it is a large topic for us. Your speakers must be turned on to hear the webinar. So if they're not turned on, hopefully you're running to turn them on right now because you realize that I should be talking and you can't hear me. My microphone's on and everyone else is automatically muted as you join. That's for the performance of the webinar, you guys. So if you do have questions, remember that you can send those through the chat box or the question box throughout the webinar. And we'll also have a Q&A section at the end as well. Okay, so again, like I said, it's a little bit of a longer webinar today because you guys, we do have quite a bit of learning objectives to talk about today. So understanding the relationship between a supplier, company, line, and the product. Be familiar with the product setup screen. Be able to add a new supplier, company, and line. Be able to add a product as well as the product levels. Be familiar with how to inactivate and reactivate items. Be familiar with viewing the movement history of a product. Okay, be able to create and complete an inventory count. Okay, be able to create and receive an order, and be familiar with some key inventory management reports. So that's the Easter hangover talking right there, you guys. All right, so there's all your learning outcomes for today. Okay, and we're going to start with the relationships or understanding the relationship between the suppliers, company, line, and product. Okay, so basically, you guys, the supplier is who we order the item from. So the supplier is not necessarily always the same as our company or our manufacturer, but sometimes they are. Sometimes our supplier might be Cosmoprof or Pro Beauty Solutions or SalonCentric, things like that. Okay, our company is the brand or the company that actually makes the product. So this is Bumble and Bumble or TG or Kerastase. Okay, our line, these are the different ranges within the brand or the company. So meaning underneath this company, we have different ranges of products. So you might break this up as shampoo, conditioners, styling, or again, with TG products, they have their own line names that we like to go by as well. Bedhead, Catwalk, Rockaholic, things like that. Okay, and then of course the last item is the product itself. So underneath each line we would then have products. Okay, so underneath our Rockaholic line we would have our dry shampoo. Okay, and underneath our bedhead line we would have some of our shampoos and conditioners, right? So again, supplier, company, line, product. Okay, any questions about that, you guys? Okay, so in shortcuts, we need all these guys to be set up and working together in order for all of our tools to work properly, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Okay, so I just want to give you a little bit of a demo of the product screen, you guys, just to show you around, talk about the different areas and things like that. So I'm going to just come out of here for a moment. Okay, and I'm going to go into shortcuts. Okay, so you guys, in the inventory or stock menu, I've just clicked on the product screen here, and then you can see it's open directly to my product screen. Okay, so across the top, I have the business, and then underneath business, it has each of the companies that I have set up. Okay, across the top, you can see that I have all the different headings of the different items that I'm displaying currently on the product screen also. Okay, it's important to note, you guys, that you can move these around if you'd like. Okay, you can also add and take away items from the heading bar up here. So if I right click, okay, I might be able to take away or add to my levels or to the prices that I see or maybe to the properties that I see. Okay, I'm going to add this retail column here. Okay, if I scroll all the way over, you can see I now have that retail column. Okay, you can see here I have the active column, so this is how I can inactivate items. The retail option is how I can change it from retail professional. Okay, so retail, items that I sell to clients, and professional, items that I only use on clients. Okay, down here at the bottom, you guys, I have sort by, and you can see it defaults to the company and line, but this is also where I can see my supplier or my categories and subcategories. Over here down on the bottom on the left, I have the show me inactive. Okay, and you can see right here it says all. So this is where I can actually specify that currently I'm seeing all products, or I just want to see professional, or I just want to see retail. Okay, then I have the new option down at the bottom of my product screen as well. So depending on where I've selected, depends on what new item I'm adding. So if I've clicked on Defy the company and I select new, I'm adding a new line. But if I click on a line underneath Defy and I select new, I'm adding a new product. Okay, then I have the delete option. Okay, so if a product has never been sold, something that you maybe set up by accident or something that you imported that you don't need, you can delete it. Okay, you have the details of an item as well, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Okay, and you also have the simple promotion section, and then your done button to get out of the screen. Okay, any questions about that, you guys? Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, looks like everyone's all right. All right, so that's just a little demo of our product screen. You guys, the rest of our webinar is really going to consist of some videos that'll walk us through the other items that we want to talk about today. Okay, so our next section here is adding a supplier, a company, and line. Okay, and you guys, in shortcuts, we would always recommend that you do it in that order as well, and we'll walk you through that here. Okay, so I have a little video that will play. Right, so in the product screen, you can see that I can go to sort by supplier. Then I'm going to go up to the top and select business, and then once I do that, I can select new to add in my new supplier. So I can type in my name, Diamond Hair Supplies, and then I want to go to the details of that particular supplier. You guys, if I plan on emailing my orders, you can see here that I can actually put that email address in as well. Okay, and then choose done. Okay, so now I have my supplier set up. Now I can go back to sort by company and line. And again, you guys, I'm going to select business to add a new company and then select new. And then we can add in the company, our cutting edge here. And the reason we add our supplier first is now we can actually link the supplier as the default supplier when we're setting up our item or our new company. Okay, and then I would choose done. Okay, at this point I have cutting edge as my company. So I click on that and I select new to now add in the line. Okay, so I'll add in my color hold line. If I go back to my supplier as well, you guys, just show you how I can add a picture. So I can right click, add new picture, And then I can choose that picture. Remember, you guys, in shortcuts, you no longer have to resize the images first. It will crop it or pad it for you. Okay, so that's how we would go about adding a new supplier, a company, and a line. Okay, and again, you guys, we would recommend you do it in that order. Any questions about that? All right, looks like everyone's okay. All right, so once we add in the new supplier, the company, and line, then of course, you guys, we need to add our products. Okay, so this video here is going to walk us through actually adding the product once we already have the other items in. Okay, so underneath cutting edge, I'm going to expand that company, and then I'm going to select the line I want to add the product to, and then select new. So now I can start typing in the name of the item. Okay, I want to be descriptive. If I have different sizes, I want to put the size in there. I want to put the buy price and the sell price. I can select my tax, or if I just tab through, you guys, it'll select my default tax. The current level is how many I currently have on hand. Then I have my minimum level, which is, of course, you guys, I never want to have less than this on my shelf. And my maximum level is I never need to have more than this on my shelf. Okay. Also the warning level, so you can be warned at the point of sale when you get below that minimum level if you'd like. Okay, so if we put that warning level in here, it'll pop up at the point of sale and actually warn the user. Yep, and then I can put in my barcode as well, you guys. You can see we're typing it in, but the easiest way is to scan it in. Okay, then I can specify whether or not the item is retail or professional. And you can see because we have the supplier tab up there as well, it's adding directly to the diamond hair supplier because that's who we linked as the default supplier. Okay. Looks like I might have a question. Let me just check. Okay, so the question is, can the supplier and the company be the same? Absolutely. If you're somebody that orders Kerastase, you order that directly from Kerastase. So your supplier name and your company name are the same. Or Dermalogica, that sometimes is one that we order directly from the company, or excuse me, from the company. So your supplier and your company would be the same. Okay. All right, any other questions about adding a new product, you guys? Awesome. Okay, the next one is just a little screenshot here. We just want to talk about activating and inactivating items. So I did talk about a little bit when we were in the product screen in shortcuts, just how you have the active column and also how you have the show me inactive down on the bottom on the left. Okay, so this active column, you guys, I can make a company inactive, an entire company. Okay, I can make an entire line inactive, so I could do the whole line of AgeSmart, or I can deactivate or activate individual items within the line as well. Okay, so you have a lot of control over that. Also, if you have items that you have inactivated and you'd like to make them active again, down here at the bottom on the left, I have this show me inactive. And at that point, you guys, it will actually show me any inactive items that I have. And then I can then reactivate them by simply clicking on, again, a company, a line, or an individual item. Okay. Any questions about activating or deactivating items in shortcuts? Okay, so again, you guys, if the product's been sold at some point or used, so we've consumed the item, we've sold it to business, anything like that, I can't delete it. So in place of deleting it, what we would do in shortcuts is we would make it inactive. Okay, so the question is there a way to deactivate or delete inactive items? Only if the item has not been used. So if the item has, again, never been sold, ordered, anything like that, shortcuts will allow you to delete it. Otherwise, you'll need to just make it inactive and it will sit there. Okay, Tracy's asking if there will be a recording of this webinar. Absolutely. You guys, all of our webinars are recorded and they'll go up on the webinar library, and I'll give you some information about that at the end here. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is the product movement history. Okay, so you guys, this might be something that some of us aren't necessarily too aware of. So in Shortcuts, you can actually look at the movement history of your items, and we want to show you how to do that. Okay, so again, here's a little video walking us through. I'll go into AgeSmart, I'll click on an item, and then down at the bottom I can select Details. And then in the Details screen, I have the Movement History tab. Okay, and I can see things like received, sold, professional use, maybe refunds, bundles, unbundles, manual updates, as well as inventory counts. Okay, so I can see all kinds of different movement that happens around products. Okay, let me see, there's a question here. Okay, the question is, let's see. If you've made an item inactive, but then later you buy more of that item for retail, what is the correct process to activate the item and then add quantities? So, Andrea, the correct process would be, on the last screen, we looked at how you can activate the item. So you would go into your product screen, you would go into the Show Me Inactive down at the bottom on the left. Okay, you would find the item and then you would activate it. And then what you would do at that point is you would need to create an order for that item and then receive it in. And then we'll speak in just a moment about creating an order and receiving it. Okay, any questions about the product movement history here, you guys? Okay, you guys, there's a question about professional use of items. That's actually not something we're covering today, but there is a video on our YouTube channel, and we'll talk about our YouTube training videos today as well. So there's a video on professional stock or professional inventory usage on there. Okay, Tina wants to know how we got to the product movement history screen. So you guys, I'm just going to play this video again because it is quite short. Okay, so you can see I expand the section. Underneath the line, I click on the product, and then I select Details at the bottom. And then within the Details screen, there's a Movement History tab. Okay, perfect. All right. So the next thing here is how to do an inventory count. Okay, so you guys, one of the most important things about inventory management is making sure we have the right count and that our products are up to date. Okay, looks like we just have another question here. Okay. There's a question about what would be the best use for the product movement history. Sometimes we're wondering how much we sold or how we got to the specific level that Shortcuts thinks we have right now and things like that. So if we look at the product movement history, I can sort that by date, right? So I should be able to see, you know, I received in an order, of this many, I sold this many, and then therefore I should have this many. All right, so you guys, an inventory count. So how do we do that in Shortcuts? Okay, so again, in that inventory or stock menu, you have stock take or inventory or take inventory. Okay, so again, I'm going to play the video here. So we'll go into the take inventory screen, and then we'll need to create a new stock take or inventory count. So Dermalogica Age Smart is what I'm going to count, and then I'm going to go next. into the screen where it takes me to the section where I can actually add the items I'd like to count. So underneath Dermalogica, I'll expand that section, and then I'll click on the line next to Age Smart, to add that entire line and then choose Done. You can see I now have 28 products, and I can start the count. Okay, am I sure? Yes. Okay, at this point, it gives me the option to print different items. So I can actually write my values down. And then once I do that, you guys, I can come in and I'll enter into Shortcuts the different amounts that I counted, and then I can finish that count. Okay, it'll ask me if I'm sure about my levels, and I can say yes. Anything that was off or not the same as the computer count will show up in red, and it will ask you if you want to recount it. You can say yes. If no, just select no. And then it will give us the congratulations, you successfully updated your inventory. Okay, so again, you guys, obviously that's a really big part, right? Before we can talk about ordering and receiving, we need to make sure that our levels are actually up to date. All right. So once we know that our levels are up to date, then I can talk about creating an order, okay? So to create an order, we want to make sure, and again, you guys, we talked about in the product screen, we talked about the levels, right? The current level, which doing an inventory count will make sure that that's up to date. And then we also talked about maximum, minimum, and warning, okay? So your maximum level is really important when it comes to ordering, okay? So based upon what your maximum level is and what you currently have within Shortcuts as your current level, then the difference between those two items is what Shortcuts will recommend that you order. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so I'll go into the inventory or stock menu, select ordering. Up at the top, you guys, I'll choose the supplier who I'm ordering from. Then down at the bottom, I'll select new to create a new order, and then we'll do a standard, okay? Anything that I don't need to order, I can delete, because remember, based upon my current and my maximum levels, Shortcuts will actually recommend what to order. Anything that's not on there, I can add. Okay, anything that you add manually, you will need to manually update the quantity as well, because it will put it in as 1. You can do a line discount. So if you click in the line there, you can enter a discount. You can also do an order discount. So down at the bottom there, if you click order discount, you can put a percentage or a fixed amount. You can also put your shipping costs if you know what those are before you place it. Okay, I can save the order as I'm working on it as well. Okay, then once I'm ready, do you wish to place this order? We'll say yes. Okay, gives me the opportunity to email orders. So if I do have that email address set up for my supplier, you can see that Outlook's trying to send the email for us. Okay, so we'll allow that. Okay, so allow access. Okay, for 10 minutes, and then choose allow, and then you can see it sends, and then the order has been successfully placed. And then remember, you guys, you always have that outstanding order as well in your reports. Okay, any questions about creating an order in Shortcuts? Okay, again, you guys, for Shortcuts to recommend what to order, you need to have your maximum levels set up. Okay, so once I place an order, then I need to know how to receive it in. So once the products actually come in, they get shipped into the store, I need to receive them in now. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so I'll click on my Pro Beauty Solutions and select Receive. Okay, anything where you received a different level than what you actually ordered or a different quantity than what you actually ordered, you'll be able to update that here. So you can see I can click and I can say I got 2 instead of 5. It will ask you if you want to put it on back order, so you can say yes or yes to all in this order, or no and no or no to all. Okay, if you say yes, it will actually create a separate order for that. Okay, I can enter in the invoice number of the invoice they've sent me, and then I can receive that in. And I'll say, yes, I'm sure I want to receive this invoice, and then it updates my levels successfully. Okay, it also, if I have label type set up, it gives me the opportunity to print my barcodes. We're going to say no here. Okay, and then it sits under that received order section. Okay, I also have, like I mentioned, you guys, that back order sitting there of the 3 products that we didn't get. Okay, so I can receive that in when it comes in as well. All right, any questions about receiving an order? So creating that order and then receiving it in. Okay, so the question was, how did it receive the order? So once you place the order in shortcuts, it'll be under the outstanding order section, and then you'll select that when you go into the ordering screen and then receive it in at the bottom. Okay, so again, oops, I'm just going to play that video one more time, you guys. Okay, so in here, when I click on the order, I go to receive, and then here it shows me everything that I ordered. Okay, and at this point, you guys, this is where you want to update the quantities for anything that you didn't actually receive. So for that Premier Primer, or Primer, it says I ordered 5. Okay, so here we go. Now my video doesn't want to play, you guys. There we go. Okay, it says I ordered 5, but I only got 2. Okay, so I'll update those. Okay, this is just asking if I want to place the items on back order, and we say yes to this, and that's why we get that separate order. Okay, once you're happy with all the levels, you can see that I'm then putting in the invoice, and how we receive it in is we just simply click that receive button at the bottom. And then when I say yes to receiving in the items, it updates my levels. Okay, you guys, the question is there a phone number for any questions we have? I will give some information on how to contact us at the end here, and you always have access to our help desk as well. Okay. All right, so now we want to talk about some key reports that have to do with inventory and some of the items that we talked about today. Okay, so you guys, your inventory control report. Okay, and again, you guys, how to get to this is tools, reports, and then inventory. Or for those of you that say stock, it'll be tools, reports, and stock. Okay, so our inventory control report. So you guys, this is basically a report that has our current levels, our maximum and minimum levels, what we currently have on order, our value on hand, and all that information. The inventory movement history, this is a report that basically details all inventory movements within a specific date range. The inventory received, so any orders that we place, we actually have a record of that received order as well, so you can look that up and it's detailed information about that order. You also have the inventory received summary, so you can see over a date range, what did we spend and what is the summary of what we've ordered. Okay, and then you also have the outstanding orders report. So for those of you that don't want to print your order out, and you're also not going to email it, so maybe you'd like to export it and attach it to an email or fax it over or whatever you need to do. You can look up your outstanding orders report, again, under Tools, Reports, and Inventory, and you can export that and attach it as a file. Any questions about these reports? All right, so you guys, just a little bit of a summary of what we've talked about today. Okay, so today you have learned the relationship between supplier, company, line, and product, how to access and view the product setup screen, how to add a new supplier, a company, and a line, how to add a product with the product levels, how to inactivate and reactivate items, how to access the product details screen to view the movement history, how to complete an inventory count, how to do an order and receive it, as well as a few key inventory management reports. Okay, so you guys, of course, we always have time for Q&A at the end of our webinars. So if there's any questions that you have that I haven't answered already, please feel free to ask them. Okay, and I'll give you guys some time to type in your questions. And while we do that, I do want to talk about our education videos on our YouTube channel. Okay, so you guys, you saw the videos that we played today. You guys, basically these are a copy of the videos that are actually found on our YouTube channel. Okay, so if you go to youtube.com/shortcutsusa, you can find all of these different inventory webinars as well as quite a few others to view and take a look at on our YouTube channel. Okay, so you can search the channel, and here's a few keywords that you can search for to find these items that we've created for you. Okay. You guys, I'm loving the YouTube videos because it's so easy. Generally, they're between 1 and 3 minute videos. They're very specific to the topic that you're looking for, and it should help you achieve what you need pretty quickly. Okay. There's a question about how do inventory warnings appear once you have reached that level. So Daniel, at the point of sale, if I sell that product or if I check that product out of inventory, it will actually pop up at the point of sale as a little warning that the user actually has to hit done to clear the screen. The question is, do you have a login to access the YouTube videos? Actually, you guys, it's an open and free channel. Again, just go to youtube.com/shortcutsusa, and there's demo videos, there's webinar videos. If you go to the section that's just called uploads, you'll find all of the training videos. Okay, so there's a question about when I check an item out for retail, from retail to back bar. Again, you guys, this isn't something that we actually covered today, but I will address this question. When I check an item out of retail for back bar, will it automatically update the back bar inventory totals? What it updates or what report it goes into is it goes into the professional inventory or professional stock usage report. So you can see over a certain time period how much product was used or consumed for professional use. All right, so that's the information there about our YouTube channel. Okay, you guys, we also currently do have an offer going on, and this is about the My Salon app. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's going on for another couple of weeks until April 15th. So we have an offer right now where you can save $100 on the My Salon setup. Okay, so generally it's $195. Right now the setup would be $195 plus your monthly, of course. So you guys give the office a call quickly if this is something you're excited about because we're only doing 20 signups for this. probably already have quite a few in. Okay. The question is, will there be a PowerPoint for the webinar? The webinar is actually recorded, so you'll be able to see any of the information I shared with you today on the recording. All right, so that's our offer that we currently have going on. So you guys, for more webinars, hopefully most of you know how to get on our website and register for them, but you'll go to shortcuts.net/webinars, or if you just go to shortcuts.net and scroll down a little ways on the page, you'll see the webinar banner. Okay, if you want to watch past webinars as well, just like this one will be recorded and put up in the webinar library. So shortcuts.net/webinars/webinar-library. You guys, we have a lot of different webinars up there now, and generally most of the webinars or training webinars that we do would be the same way that we would structure a training session. So please feel free to use those for support if you need. Okay, so register for our future webinars, or you can view any of our past webinars there. Okay, and for any of you that have further questions today, you can always email our education team, so education@shortcuts.net. Remember, if you guys do have something urgent, please feel free to call the help desk. But if it's just something you have a question about, you can email that through to the education team, or you can always post questions to our Facebook page as well. And then here's the couple of phone numbers on how to access or get a hold of the office. So the local 714 number, as well as the toll-free. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, we'll hang on for a couple more minutes. I think most everybody got theirs out here. Okay, I know this is a topic that everybody is not necessarily always too excited about, but it is very, very important. Yeah, hopefully you guys got everything you needed out of today's webinar, and if not, go ahead and email the education team. Right, you guys, well, it looks like we have everybody's questions, so thank you so much for joining today, and you'll be able to find this webinar recorded up in the library hopefully in a few days. Okay, so thank you everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Monday.